Good morning. I'm Jason Smith. I'm your host of the podcast this morning. We are joined by Laura Red
Hey.
of Laura Red Interiors, and we are actually in her studio this morning. So we're just having a good time and having lots of good conversation. We're going to talk this episode about the furniture market, and to get started, what do you guys do at the furniture market?
Well, against popular demand, we don't just drink.
Okay.
Let me back up and say
Thanks
that.
for clearing that up.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So furniture market is when we go and learn and discover all the new things. Now remember, this is international. This is not just US. So now Italy is back, France, Japan, all over the world comes and shows their amazing product. Only about 25% of what is shown at market is actually seen in North Carolina. So if you don't go, you don't know. So you've got to go and see and try and sit. You're looking at scale and colors and fabrics. So we are walking from showroom to showroom. We're connecting with the vendors we already have. We're finding new, whether it be furniture, art, rugs, accessories, lighting, everything is there. Crazy things, even florals, like trying to find a beautiful tree. That can be challenging. So we are seekers and finders of treasure.
So what is the market experience for you? You're there. It's all business. I think to most people, we think it's like Disney World of furniture. We want to go and just look at everything, and yeah, right. But you're there for business, and we were just talking off air about how when you're there, you have a plan, and you're there. Occasionally, you take clients with you. You may take floor plans, and you even mentioned pre-shopping or whatnot. Tell me about some of that.
Okay.
That's very interesting, I think.
So when clients come to me and they want to do a whole house of furniture, I'm going to take their plan and I am going to find what I've space planned. I've looked at things. I'm going to go find the vendors that fit their style and personality. There is no point in going in showrooms that don't work. So then we're going to have it all set up that they can see how it's going to lay out. They can touch the fabric. They get to sit in it, pick their cushion, their fabric, the stain on the leg. So it's very personalized. It's a way of finding a light fixture or rugs, art, accessories. You're walking through, finding and discovering those one-of-a-kind things that people are looking for. Because not everybody, like for me, it's a nightmare to walk in and go, oh, I saw that at TJ Maxx. That's a toughie. I love big box stores, but we need to have uniqueness also for ourselves.
Yeah, and quality.
Yeah,
I mean, the
big
quality is probably a lot, not
Yeah.
that one's not quality, but
Correct.
I'm sure these handmade, custom
Yeah.
are very
Yeah,
high
yeah,
quality.
Yeah.
So tell me about how, are you scheduling like during the furniture market, are you taking multiple clients in? Do you schedule like times for different, do a lot times, I guess, for different clients so that you're making the most of your time?
Correct. It matters what the clients are looking for. So I've actually done a group of people, husbands, wives, everybody, who are specifically looking for the same types of accessories or rugs or art. So we can go together if they're comfortable with that. If they want that one-on-one experience, you're going to block time, you're going to make sure it's a great experience, and you set up those at the showroom as well. You're going to want to have your salesperson there to help you because you're going to write that order while you're there. Because sometimes there's show specials. Hey, if you buy blah, 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 there's an extra 20% off. Well, we want that, right? We want to be able to do that. So yeah, so it kind of can vary.
Yeah. So I know the furniture market comes twice a year.
Yeah.
So, and when was it?
April and October.
April and
it's
October.
Almost here.
Okay. So are they both the same shows, or does each show have different concepts or what?
Yeah, so spring is kind of like can be a new reveal and you're seeing new things coming out. But for some reason, October is a stronger, more business-related writing market. I think you see things in the spring, you get to think about it, decide if it's what you want, and then come back in the fall. You, of course, we are lucky. There are times between markets that you can go. So we call these Designer Wednesdays. And with a designer, you can get back into some of these showrooms, see things and try things. So it's kind of a neat little secret. It's not always just twice a year now.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you ride through High Point, what I call Old High Point, where the I've been to places with designers where I've been in buildings and you walk around and I'm like, where are we going? Right? And then all of a sudden you walk into this giant room
Yes.
full of stuff. And I'm like, how does that so is that stuff they take from the market that maybe doesn't they don't want to take back and they're putting it in some of these sample showrooms? Or is that how that works? Or
Yes, it is how it works. So, what you see at market, not everything gets brought to the selling market. So, you have to make a quota, as everything does, right? It can be a beautiful sofa, but if the orders weren't written, it's gone. So, those are the samples that get bought. And then by usually one person, and then they go to what we call these clearing houses. We're getting ready to have one. Those actually occur before market now because they're clearing out our showrooms. So you'll have everything there from furniture, art, rugs, accessories, and it can be product that is discontinued. It can be product that didn't make it in the sales. And it can just be things that you go, yeah, we're not sure we're going to put this in our showroom. We have new product coming in, so we want to go ahead and liquidate it.
so people, do you shop for that stuff and
Oh, yeah.
find deals and things
Oh,
that
yeah.
you bring? Okay. So there's lots of deals to be had there as long as you know what you're looking for, so to speak.
Exactly. And
Okay.
it's cash and
Because there's a
carry.
lot of stuff. I've been in some of these rooms and it is overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was shocked at the size and the massive amounts of
Yeah.
stuff, and it all came from market. So that I mean, so and I'm just like that is fascinating. And how you got into these rooms, I don't even know how we got back to the place. So
It's
it was quite interesting
Yeah.
because these
Yeah,
old
yeah.
buildings and they're just buildings, empty rooms, and all of a sudden they're just full of furniture.
Full
So
of furniture.
it was
Yeah.
very interesting. So
Yeah.
what other things can we find at the furniture market? Other than just basic couches, chairs, bedding, whatever. What other things do you find there that may be of interest?
Oh, definitely. So you touched on something when you said one of a kind. There are craftsmen and artisans that come to show their one of a kind pieces. There's original art there. So people who really want something that's a one of a kind. Same thing with rugs. It's one of my favorite. You can find really amazing one of a kind rugs. You're flipping through, you're like, oh, I want that in an 8x10. No, 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 it only comes in a 9x12. It was made once. So finding the artisan craftsmanship, one of a kind accessories, and really unique lighting. It's amazing that we think lighting is just what we see in general, but there's massive showrooms full of amazing things that can be your statement piece, but if you haven't gone and seen it, you may never see it. So and florals, people don't think about that. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time keeping a tree alive inside a house, okay? I don't have the right lighting, and those have changed considerably. So to have a really beautiful tree in a space that looks real adds so much because if you think about it, there's three things that bring life to a room. So it's something that's alive. So a candle is alive, it's moving. Greenery is alive, and like fruit and flowers and things. So that's what you need in a space. So that's why florals are such a big deal.
So in the market, do you have a go-to do you have your go-to places, or do you, I mean, as far as, brands,
Oh, yeah.
or, tell us a little bit about like maybe some of that thought process that goes into, you were mentioning some of your manufacturers and companies you work with are in the Midwest that maybe are not here locally. Talk about some of that.
Sure. I try to find things that are not local so that it makes it unique for my client. All right. So I love to go find things. One of my favorite vendors is Hooker Furniture, and they are actually made more in the Midwest than here. We always think of Martinsville, Virginia. That's a distribution center, so that's very different. So seeing things that aren't constantly presented, that's a very, very good thing to find, and it helps the client have something really, really unique with that. Working with vendors that are new, they're up and coming. So at market, there's a thing called inner hall. And in inner hall is where someone has registered enough sales to buy this space, and this is where the new up and coming fresh look is. It can be outdoor furniture, it can be lighting, it can be rugs, it can be anything out of the sun that you can even imagine, or someone who is rebranding. So there was a company called Alden Home. They kind of went through a finish issue and they dropped. And now they're back and they presented in Inner Hall and company exploded. Just absolutely exploded with opportunities and sales, and that's what we run, and that's what we really want.
So we were talking about this amazing light fixture above us. It's something you picked up at the market. So talk to me about when you're going through the market, how you may come across things that you purchase that you then can pass along at a savings to if they were to find that in a showroom, so to speak. Talk to us about what you look for when you're purchasing unique things that might fit your clientele.
So I'm looking at trends and styles that I'm seeing that are presented that I don't see here. So that this is a little bit more contemporary to transitional type of light fixture. Well, I would put this in a dining room with very traditional furniture. That's kind of an off. You're like, wait a minute, those don't go together. But when you start mixing your styles, that's what makes it interesting. So when you're walking through market and they have a great sign up that says samples for sale, you want to go and investigate what they have and see what things you may be working on or something that you catch your eye, because I didn't buy this for a client, but I bought it because I feel the client will come and then I can pass that on.
And it's very unique.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So what is the strangest thing you've ever bought at the market? Anything unusual? We always like to ask these
you
questions,
throw that
people
one
are
at me.
always interested.
So some of the things that, and it's very odd things now, we're seeing a lot of what I call bended shapes. So like this table is very set, but we're seeing that things that are bent. So they're a little bit more twisted or fluid. It looks like flowing water. So you look at a table like that and you kind of go, well, there's not really a flat surface. So I'm not sure how we're going to, but it's more of an artistic piece to be used. Probably the weirdest thing was a giraffe that was upside down holding a table, and then it had a turtle on its stomach. Not sure why, but it sold. I bought the sample and it sold like that. I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. You don't think anybody's going to ask you for an upside down giraffe.
Right. Well, anything furniture market that we haven't covered that you'd like to talk about? Are there new things coming in? I guess one's coming up in October. Are you expecting anything new to be showing at the market, or are there trends that you're looking for in October? What kind of things are you looking for in the new market?
I'm specifically looking for something that we call the fresh face of traditional. So when you say traditional, everybody kind of goes, this is going to be terrible. But it's the same great lines, but it's in great colors. We aren't doing that red mahogany anymore, those dark Baroque things. But to take something like that and putting it in a lighter finish, super beautiful. I have a lot of clients asking me for that. And the clients are not 90, they're 30, but they want these neat traditional things, but they want it to be fresh. So definitely. The other thing that happens at market that people may not know about is the business side. We get to take classes. All right. It's not just trends. It's not just about styles, but there's marketing, business, accounting, finance, distribution, learning how to ship better. And that's what makes it interesting. So now you take that knowledge and you pair it with all this furniture, you've got just a wheel that's moving and really creating. Yeah. So you people don't realize that, we get to go to school too.
Gotcha. Well, guys, I think that's all for us on this episode. If you're interested in talking to Laura, we're here in her studio today at Laura Red Interiors. You can find her online at redinteriors.com. If you're thinking about remodeling or doing a new build, it's a great idea to get some help and have somebody help you with that, take some of that stress off you and help make a beautiful end product. And Laura would be great for that. So check her out and contact her if you're interested. Thanks.